Police not scaling back the search for Parker Wells as they hone their efforts on a few streets in one neighborhood.
He wasn't one of the workers, and he looked like he was in a panic mode.
An arrest is made and charges laid in connection to last week's train derailment. And keeping cognitive decline at bay.
The older you get, the more you need to be active.
The science proves it, the link between your speed and your brain.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good evening. We are closing in on a full week since 11-year-old Parker Wells disappeared, prompting an exhaustive citywide search. Despite no sightings of the boy since last Thursday, Calgary police are making it abundantly clear there's still a belief he can be found alive, and efforts to find Parker are not being scaled back. In fact, they have specific areas that should be zeroed in on.
These cabinets are plenty big enough for a small person to hide, especially if they don't have shelves inside. And any bins you may have that store water, garbage, or recycling. Take a couple seconds and have a quick look.
Calgary police posting this video of all the possible hiding spots that should be checked on your property, including hot tubs, any accumulating junk, under decks, and inside sheds. This is especially crucial for those who live in the areas of these 6 northeast streets to search their properties. Again, this includes realtors and landlords aware of vacant properties. If you're away on vacation and live on these streets or know someone who is, contact police to conduct a search. Parker was last seen just before 1 p.m. last Thursday along Travis Crescent. He was shirtless with dark shorts and black headphones. Officers are also going door to door asking for permission to search inside people's homes, checking cupboards, under beds, anywhere a small child may hide.
We never lose hope. We have a long-term missing persons unit that deals with missing persons that are 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old. So we never give up investigating, we never give up hope. But let me reiterate, we are far from believing that Parker must be dead. We still believe there is a strong hope that he is alive, and I see no reason to abandon that.
Dozens of police officers spent today combing through areas of West Nose Creek Park and Nose Hill Park. They searched near water and through the tall grass. Hundreds of officers are involved, and they have reviewed more than 400 tips and 1,000 video clips. They join many area residents and volunteers from all over who continue to search. Police believe it will likely be a member of the public who helps find Parker. Now, Parker is neurodivergent and nonverbal, but police say today it's their understanding that Parker would be able to use the tap and fridge to get water and food himself if he found his way into a home. Charges have been laid against an individual connected to last Monday's major train derailment in southwest Calgary. CTV Calgary has obtained dispatch audio recordings. They reveal a man had been spotted on the train before and after it somehow became uncoupled. Calgary transit operators frantically called it in, and within the hour, the train had derailed. Tyson Fedor has this exclusive report.
There was a guy attached to the side of the train as he was going by. He wasn't one of the workers, and he looked like he was in a panic mode.
Sorry, you said there was somebody attached to the train, the big train that went by?
Calgary transit operators were quick to spot a man hanging off the side of a CPKC freight train in South Calgary last week.
It was an outbound CP rail train. Right on the last car, there was this guy struggling, hanging on to a side latch on the train.
This guy, he's still on the back of that train. He's joyriding on the train.
These audio recordings are publicly available through Broadcastify. It was around 7:15 on July 13th when transit operators notified dispatchers of unusual activity on the CPKC train that morning, the railway running parallel with the LRT Red Line. Staff saw the man on the train around Fish Creek Lacombe Station and reported that the train had uncoupled.
You think the one that got uncoupled is nobody's driving it?
Nobody's driving it. It's a runaway train.
The man, described as having brown hair, wearing jeans, was once again spotted on the back of that southbound train around 162nd Avenue Southwest before the train derailed south of that.
After that train, there was another train that was going backwards.
Around 7:40 a.m., CPKC operators were also speaking with dispatch colleagues.
8.12, it's derailed.
For yourself, you're all okay? Do you require any medical services?
RTC had told us that there was a trespasser on our train. Sounds like there's cars on the ground at the tail end of our train around mile 108.
13 rail cars derailed carrying loads of lumber, plywood, propane, and argon. Most cars ending up in the Pritis Slough, but officials said there was no environmental damage to the wetlands. CPKC tells CTV News all the rail cars have been removed. The Transportation Safety Board says because the investigation is in its infancy, it's not at liberty to discuss additional details at this time. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
A CPKC spokesperson tells CTV News tonight it's aware the individual has been arrested and charged with mischief, endangering life, and interference with transportation facilities in relation to this incident. Fire crews are busy battling a house fire in the extreme heat this afternoon. They were called to Martin Brook Link Northeast around 1:30 today and were met with smoke and flames pouring through the roof. Crews got the fire out, but the residence has extensive damage. It's not known if anyone was home at the time. The fire is under investigation. Police can continue to hold on to cell phones they seized from former Mayor Jody Gondek and former councillor Sean Chu. Gondek and Chu's lawyers argued the phone should be returned, but a judge ruled police can keep them until March 2027. Police are trying to unlock the phones as well as an iPad of Chu's as an investigation continues into alleged municipal corruption. No charges have been laid. Investigators allege Gondek and Chu were involved in an influence peddling scheme where council reconsidered a change in a bylaw to allow for a townhome development in exchange for campaign donations that exceeded the allowable amount. The Iranian conflict has spread, leading oil prices to climb. In Yemen, located off the Arabian Peninsula, rebels say they have cut off a key shipping route, which was being used as a workaround from the Strait of Hormuz. Tyler Barrow explains.
The conflict in the Middle East is widening. The war, which started in Iran and led to trade disruption through the Strait of Hormuz, now has Yemen's Houthi rebels involved. The rebels say they have closed off the Bab el-Mandab Strait. It is a vital passage to get product to Asia. Both the UAE and Saudi Arabia were exporting millions of barrels daily through the strait.
Key workarounds that helped offset the loss of oil from the Strait of Hormuz. So now that workaround is also under threat.
This now has lifted West Texas intermediate prices from around $67 a barrel at the beginning of July to just under $87. And it sounds like it will keep climbing.
I mean, I think on the face of it, I would say oil prices should be moving higher. But again, we don't know how President Trump's going to respond.
While the world waits on whatever Trump says or ends up doing, it has woken up to the rebel group. This military expert describes them as a proxy for Iran to challenge Saudi Arabia.
What is clearly being indicated that this conflict, that the Iranians have the ability to, in fact, cause a lot more pain than the immediate area where the Americans are attacking.
And drivers should brace for gas prices cutting deeper into their pockets.
We will see prices at the pump move back up again to reflect the higher feedstock prices associated with rising oil prices.
Trump's ongoing war with no end in sight has become a pain point for consumers.
It's very frustrating because, like, what's the deal? I mean, and I got to blame the orange clown in Washington.
It's kind of frustrating more so because you never know day to day what it's going to cost.
Something that's out of our control, but we really want prices to go down. You know, it's just gone insane.
In the latest budget tabled in February, the province's projected price for West Texas Intermediate was $60.50 US a barrel. It is set to unveil an updated forecast by the end of August. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The province recently rolled out its energy rebate due to the past few months' high oil prices' impact on affordability. In a statement to CTV News, it did not provide clarity on whether Albertans can expect further help.
Our air quality has been in the moderate to low range throughout the last 24 hours, and that's the story for tomorrow as well. So at times we'll get some waves of somewhat smokier air. So low to moderate is the story, not just for the next 24 hours, really for the rest of the week. You can bank on that. 18 degrees to kick off the day at 8 a.m. and then a high of 31 for tomorrow. So it will be even hotter tomorrow in comparison to what we had today. Very, very small chance of any sort of late day shower or thunderstorm.
All right, Danielle, thank you. It's National Drowning Prevention Week, a time when the Life Saving Society reminds Canadians that basic water safety skills can save lives. And one Calgary program is helping make sure cost isn't a barrier to learning. Kevin Green reports.
At the Forest Lawn Outdoor Pool, dozens of Calgary kids are learning to swim. The free Swim for Life program is giving children who might not otherwise have the opportunity to take swim lessons the chance to learn not just to swim, but to stay safe around and in the water.
It's having the opportunity for every kid to have that dream. It's every kid that deserves to be in the water, but safely.
The Life Saving Society calls this a basic life skill.
Being able to tread water for 1 minute so that you have enough time to kind of calm yourself and know where to swim to safety, and being able to swim 50 meters could potentially save your life.
Parents know what these free lessons teach could save their children's lives.
If he goes out with his friends, or if he's by a river or anywhere by himself or with friends or us, then he knows the necessities of how to adapt and how to stay safe.
The lessons are already building confidence in the water.
I think I'm moderate at swimming, but I'd like to learn to get better at.
Those lessons take place in a controlled environment, but most drownings happen in open water, where water is often cold and conditions can change quickly.
When it comes to being in, on, and around the water, it's not wearing a life jacket, it's drinking alcohol and doing drugs, it's going out there by yourself.
In Calgary, it is the law to wear a life jacket while on the river. It's a law not everyone always obeys.
To be fair, I have it on most of the time. I want to say 90% of the time.
The Life Saving Society says the $500 fine pales against a potential death by drowning, pointing out 9 people have died in the water so far this year in Alberta, up from 5 at the same point last year. It also warns against swimming or boating alone, saying always keep your eyes on your companions in the water.
Drowning does not look like it does in the movies. It's often silent and it happens very, very quickly. So the best way to make sure that an incident does not happen is by preventing it.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
National Drowning Prevention Week is held at this time because statistically more drownings occurred this week than any other week of the year. Friday is World Drowning Prevention Day. Canada's premiers are looking for more money from Ottawa. Just ahead, we'll tell you where they're meeting and what exactly they want that funding for.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Canada's premiers are in Charlottetown this week to discuss some of the biggest issues their provinces are facing. Chief among them is healthcare spending. Leaders are urging the federal government to provide provinces more health funding, though, as Tim Brooke explains, some believe that money should come with stipulations.
The Council of the Federation Summit is an annual event. And on Wednesday, Canada's premiers brought along what feels like an annual request.
Intent under the Health Transfer Act was for a 50-50 funding between the province and the country. And today, the country's portion is down to 21%. So we need to see that come back up.
The country's leaders want the PM to revisit federal health transfers. They say growing populations have made the file too big to tackle alone.
Whether you're a proud Canadian, whether you're in line with Carney's investment agenda, or whether you just want to have a long life and prosper, I think the case for investing in healthcare is very, very clear.
And there were other health concerns here, too. Outside the meetings, health workers, advocacy groups, and unions protested the system's management. The group does want more funding for provinces, but it also wants assurances that money will be spent on patients.
Every province should be held accountable for the transfers that they get, and they should be spending them on healthcare, and they should be bolstering healthcare.
One of this group's biggest qualms is Alberta's Bill 11. The dual practice model allows physicians to work in both public and private systems. Some believe it's a push towards American-style care, though Alberta's premier doesn't see it that way. Danielle Smith claims her province is trending in the right direction thanks to more choice and a new panel approach.
I'm happy to share that learning with other premiers, but it does seem that team-based practice and the certainty of a panel of arrangement has been one of the keys to successes in Alberta.
Laura Meyer still doesn't see it that way. She's battling stomach cancer and says too much of that fight has been waged in ER waiting rooms.
Definitely over 26 hours over the 3 days.
And those long waits have convinced Meyer it's going to take a lot to solve Canada's healthcare problems.
Their biggest, I think, is having more staff in the ER, more doctors available, because even the night that I was there was only one doctor on call.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
A big turnout today for a job fair at the Saddledome. Calgary Sports and Entertainment say they received more than 800 applications online. There were also long lines of in-person applicants today. Some who came out were looking for a chance to work at the Saddledome for its final season, while others are eager to get into the job market for the first time.
I do want to help my parents, like I've said before, and I want to pull my weight around the house, and especially because it's summer, I don't just want to stay at home all day and bed rot. So yeah, and doing something productive is a good thing to do.
The Saddledome is looking to fill a variety of positions, including fan experience and 50-50 staff. Organizers say some applicants can expect to be hired on the spot. The job fair runs again tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Danielle's up next with the Skywatch forecast, and we're only going to warm up just by a few degrees, but that's already in the 30s. When it will cool down, details next.
All right, well, today was definitely hot in southern Alberta. Calgary, we got up to a high of 28 degrees. With the humidity, it felt closer to 30, even 31 at times. And Medicine Hat felt well into the mid-30s with that humidity today. Check out just the base temperature alone, though, so not even looking at humidity, 38 in Kelowna. All right, today was a hot one in southern Alberta. It will get even hotter over these coming days. So by Saturday, for example, Medicine Hat will creep up to 38 degrees. And in Calgary, we're going to be in those lower 30s. So a lot of heat. This is why the heat warning is in place. The hottest weather will be in the southeast corner. Calgary is under the heat warning, but Airdrie, Cochrane, over towards Banff, not under the heat warning, although it will still be very hot. We are looking at this heat lasting for about 2 weeks around this level, but the hottest of the next 2 weeks will be these next 3 days. All right, we're under a ridge of high pressure. So the jet stream is up towards the north in central Alberta, and we're allowing this warm air from the states to feed in. We're also looking, when we have a ridge of high pressure, it promotes sinking air and stability and lots of sunshine and basically acts as a protective bubble. And so the heat is able to build and build and build under this bubble. And that's what's going to be happening as we head through these next 3 days and through the weekend. All right, so when we look at the future cast, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It is pretty stable, will remain pretty stable right through until Sunday. But there is the small chance of some thunderstorm or at least some shower development. It likely won't get to any sort of severe level, but we most likely, if we get it at all, it will be in towards the far south. So Claresholm down towards the Lethbridge area and even creeping towards the Medicine Hat area. Less likely to see it in Calgary, just a 30% chance for Calgary. And then the same development could happen later on Friday as well, although that's even possible up the QE2 and east of the QE2. But again, this will be very isolated over these next couple of days. It will be weak for the most part, if anything at all, and brief. All right, for Calgary, 31 degrees tomorrow. Again, just that small risk of any sort of late day shower or thunderstorm down to a 30%. When we look at air quality, we're looking at ranging from low to moderate on that air quality health index for the rest of this week and likely for much of next week as well. We get even hotter for Friday and Saturday as we get to 32 degrees. And then I guess you could say a little more reasonable on Sunday with a high of 29.
All right, Danielle, thank you. Doing puzzles can help keep the mind sharp, right? But staying fast on your feet may be just as important. And we've got the science to prove it next. A Calgary actor wants to see a celebration to say farewell to a waterslide he frequented as a kid in the city's northeast.
Maybe a celebration of life, a memorial, or hear me out, $1 final teen night for all the adults that grew up on this slide.
Andrew Fung posted on social media that he spent a lot of his teenage years riding down the Thunder Run water slide at the Village Square Leisure Center. The ride opened in 1994 and has reached the end of its lifespan. It will be replaced by a new slide as part of a year-long renovation. But before it shuts down at the end of August, Fung has called on Mayor Jeremy Farkas and Councillor Andre Chabot to create one last celebration for the millennials who grew up on the slide. In response on Instagram, Mayor Farkas said simply, "Please stand by." How fast you walk may play a big role in the health of your brain as you age. A newly published study links quickly paced seniors with less cognitive decline. Alicia Fieldberg has more about these super movers.
Staying fast on your feet may be just as important for keeping your mind sharp as doing brain teasers and crossword puzzles. It's not surprising to these fitness buffs in their 70s.
Part of healthy living as we get old to keep the mind and body active.
As you get older, you have to continue moving, or otherwise you just fall apart.
Researchers behind a study in neurology journals found people in their 80s who maintain a much quicker walking pace than their peers are far more likely to stay mentally sharp. Researchers say these super movers walk as fast as people about 30 years younger, and as they aged, they tended to preserve the volume of their brain's hippocampus, the part associated with memory.
We're seeing that the super movers are experiencing about 50% less cognitive decline compared to their counterparts who are not super movers. That's pretty significant.
At the average walk speed for people in their 80s, you can cover a kilometer in about 19 minutes. Super movers may be able to walk a kilometer in about 14 minutes.
I would recommend going 4 miles an hour, which is 6.4 kilometers an hour, or greater on the treadmill.
While this latest study focuses on walking, other research indicates the type of movement doesn't matter so much as long as you stay active.
We still go out at night and we go dancing on the weekends and stuff like that, so we're trying to keep young.
Since I've retired, I'm at the gym more. Pickleball the other 2 days of the week. I think maybe it helps to prevent dementia a little bit.
If you're consistent and keep up the pace, it could pay off for both your muscles and your mind. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Researchers analyzed the data of 4,000 older adults enrolled in long-term aging study. They found the fastest 9% tended to preserve the hippocampal volume despite similar levels of Alzheimer's pathology as their peers. Very interesting and fascinating study. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Have a good night.